Welcome, everybody, to another session of the Professional Mindset Series. I am delighted today to have a very distinguished gentleman, Mr. Carlos Vejar. Mr. Vejar was born in Mexico City on August 11th in 1958. He studied international relations at the Universidad Nacional Autónoma de Mexico. He is now a senior consultant. Until February 2013, he was the head of the Cultural and Social Affairs Division at the Mexican Social Security Institute for Government Employees, covering about 12 million people. He was also Chief of Staff for the CFO and Director of Economic, Social, and Cultural Benefits 11 plus years in all. Before that, he was a special advisor to Secretary of Foreign Affairs and was in charge of the national security matters. He's visited more than 90 Mexican embassies and consulates abroad, where procedures, comprehensive research, and dozens of interviews with ambassadors, consuls, and other diplomatic and consular personnel led him to define a security strategy specifically outlined to foreign policy activities. While being a coordinator general of the Mexican Refugee Aid Commission, COMAR, he envisioned and put into effect the aerial voluntary reparation, which eliminated the risks of transporting refugees by land through armed conflict zones, both in Mexico and Guatemala. In 1993, as the Director of International Cooperation for the Attorney General's Office, he envisioned and carried out a plan to allocate Mexican, US, Canadian, and other multilateral resources to Central American countries to strengthen their drug interdependence capabilities and thus reducing the drug flow from the southern producing countries to northern consumer ones. He's also coordinated international affairs at CISEN, the National Security and Investigation Center, between 1986 and 1989, where he established the fundamentals to obtain, systemize, analyze, and turn into useful intelligence the information that was gathered abroad by the center. Other activities include his participation in several international and maritime law research projects, his works in Mexico-US relations 150 years after, which was published in 1997 by the Fundación Coliseo, and Memory of the Presence of Guatemalan Refugees in Mexico, published in 1999. Wow. I want to welcome you, Carlos. That was such great information, and I know I left a lot out. I do apologize, but I want to thank you for being with me this afternoon. It's such a great honor, like I said to everybody there just moments ago. So thank you for sharing all of that great information with me. So if there's anything I left out that you would like to share, please please do with us before we get into the series and the nitty-gritty lovely questions that the people that watch the show love to hear.
No, maybe you said too much.
Maybe I said too much.
because today that's only paper. I am what I am now.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And so you are what you are now. What does that mean to you when you say that to someone? What is that vibe and feel you get from being able to say that to someone?
Well, because when you go through life and you have such a fulfilling professional life, because I do think my professional life is very fulfilling. You get to today and you look back and you said, wow, that was a hell of a ride. But when you see it in writing, it's only when you remember things.
Yeah.
You have to work with what you are today. Everything you left behind, it works for you today. But you're not thinking every day, oh, what I did with refugees and what I did for intelligence work and what I did for cultural affairs or for the government workers. You don't think about that. You
Mhm.
just when you say things, when you put your clothes on, all those 30 years of experience come to help you.
Mhm.
You don't think, you're not conscious of that. Only when you read it, only when you read it. But all those years are there. And
Yeah.
it makes you it makes you who you are. That's what I mean when I say that I am what I am now. What everything in that on that paper, you're looking at it. So the paper is paper.
Absolutely. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I love that authenticity of it. But we've so many years never looked at it that way because we push so much during our life to become all of these grand things when really it comes down to how do we live our life each day and
Right.
what do we do each day. So thank you for that great vision of that because that's what I just saw. Thank you.
Okay,
So
if I may say one last thing on
yeah.
this part is one of the things I learned is to be grateful. And after that introduction you made of me, which is I'm very thankful for it. I want to thank you, Terry, and the American Heritage College for giving me the opportunity to talk to you and to your audience.
Oh, it's
Thank you
such a
very much.
pleasure. It's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure. That's the whole purpose, and I know we talked about it the other day, is to be able to help people see that regardless of what we do, it's all about how we approach things, which leads me into we talked about what is your definition of a professional mindset when you think of the mind and the mindset that we have? What do you see as that definition?
That was when you asked it. It's a beautiful question. It's a beautiful question because everything that leads you to find out new things, to
Hmm.
me, it's very encouraging. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I try to, well, I never lie, but anyway, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I try to search for the concept of professional mindset, and there are some writings
Hmm.
scattered here and there, but there's no definition of professional mindset. So what I did, is the way I do every time, because when you try to define things, it's very good to define things because using a common language, defining things helps us to use a common language.
Hmm.
I think it would be, I think you can say that communication, it's the greatest invention of humanity. What
Wow.
good, what good is it if you have the brain cancer cure inside your brain, but you cannot share it, but
Yes.
it doesn't go out your brain. You cannot get it outside your brain. Or if you get it outside your brain, the other person does not understand because you don't have a common law and a common language.
Yeah.
So I think, some people will say rocket, some people may say the atomic bomb, some people may say the car. No, no, I think communication, the way to communicate with each other, it's the best discovery or invention in of humanity. So I got a dictionary, and
Okay.
I found the words. I looked for the word profession,
Okay.
mind, and set. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and according to this dictionary, which is very old, which is also good because those are terms that have been defined the same way through a long period of time.
Yes.
It's not a modern thing. No. Okay. So uh, what I found, it's you can define the mind. The mind is what the brain does.
Mm.
The mind is what the brain does, and it does things to the outside and to the inside because your mind also, your brain also controls your heartbeat, or
Yes.
your bacteria or your stomach and your things. So that's not the kind of mind we're talking about today.
Yeah.
It's what your brain does towards the outside, towards the outside, in a communication kind of level.
Mhm.
Then set is the way you arrange things. It's the way you arrange things. And lastly, a profession, it's what you do for a living.
Mhm.
So the definition I came up with is uh, professional mindset is the way you arrange thoughts and actions in order to be better at what you do for a living.
Mm, love it. I
I try to
love
be
it.
precise.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a beautiful way to look at it. I think that is a great way.
And
And
it's only putting together words that I found in the dictionary.
right. But
So,
that's okay. That's
yeah.
okay. I like for people to, and you know, you said it earlier that you had a chance to watch some of the videos. Well, as you were watching those videos, I'm sure you saw that the many different people I've spoken to all looked at it differently.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think that's okay.
Well,
I think it's definitely okay.
of course.
There is one thing that Abdi and I, our CEO, often talk about. And he shared it with somebody the other day and he confused the heck out of her. He said, you know, we tell people think outside the box all the time, right? Think outside the box. The question is, who created the box?
Of course.
Valid question. Who created the box that we're supposed to be thinking outside of? And I guess where I'm going with that statement is that goes back to this idea of professional mindset, right? Is is it a direct analytical definition? Is it a, you know, whatever it is, it's your definition. It's what you see it as. For me, the professional mindset is my way to get back on track when I've lost, uh, you know, when the day gets away from me. Like, for example, yesterday, I think I had 9 meetings. My
Wow.
my brain by the end of the day was scrambled, right?
Yeah. That
So
makes
yeah, and so the question becomes, okay, well, okay, how can I get my focus back? What can I do to make sure that the littlest things aren't kind of annoying me, right? Because when you get off of that, you're like, okay, I just need a second. But you got animals, you have kids, you can't let that get to you. You got to get back to, but that's my mindset. It's finding that way to get back on track. So,
no,
um,
that's a very good way to look at it. Okay,
mhm,
um, your mindset can be different for different things. Okay,
yes,
you cannot have the same mindset for for playing with your dogs, or for educating your kids, or for going out with your wife,
yeah,
or or for doing your work. It's
yeah,
you have to reset, reboot your brain,
yes,
and you
yeah,
do that without conscience.
yeah,
It's unconsciously. It's just the way the brain works.
hmm,
And
yeah,
that thing that, oh, by the way, thanks to Abdi too, because he got in touch with me, and I am very grateful to him
yeah,
for doing it. But that question, who created the box, just now that you said it, I mean, I take up challenges. You
yes.
know, you know what the box is?
What is the box?
The box is culture. And
Mm,
you know what culture is? It's everything we bring outside of our mother, everything that we bring to the world that was being formed, even a part of your father and your mother's education, and your grandfather and your grandmother. You come out of your mother with it, and
yes,
then your parents educate you and they take you to school, and that is culture. That is culture. That's what creates the box.
yeah,
I mean, I'm saying this from the
yeah.
top of my head. I
Well,
haven't
that's a very
studied.
intelligent way to look at it.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I would
Thank
say
you.
that the box is the culture, and culture is what you bring to this world. and everything you pick up along the way.
True.
That's the
True.
most.
That's right. And that leads me to one other thing, and we're getting a little bit off of the series, but that's okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Because something you brought up a moment ago made me think about the idea of, the studies are now showing the neuroplasticity of the brain.
Yeah.
Used to be that people would always say that a leopard never changes its spots, meaning that people we can't change. And that goes back to kind of culture. We think sometimes we're defined by our culture, and that we can't change our views. We can't look at different things from a different mindset.
Yeah.
But we can. Studies show it. This right here changes all the time, what we have in here.
Yes.
And we continue to grow until we stop deciding to grow. We stop deciding to change. And I think that is the one great thing. That's, again, for the people out there watching, that's what I want you guys to understand. Even if you're in a rut, you can change. You can find a way to grow this, continue to grow it. Doesn't matter your age. Doesn't. You can keep working on that.
I totally agree.
I got a little off track
Totally.
there. My apologies.
No. But this is the good part of your series or your shows. That it allows people to converse. To talk.
Yes.
To exchange ideas. If you don't exchange ideas, if you don't set your mind to the communication process,
Yes.
how are you going to learn? How are you going to teach?
Yes. Yes.
If you just want to talk, or if you just want to do the same thing all over again in every show, well, you'll do the same thing over again differently, but it's going to be the same thing all over again.
Exactly. And that's not what we want. We want to share you and the wonderful people that I work with. So let me ask you, how has the professional mindset played a part in your career?
Well, on the basis of the before mentioned definition, it's something you don't think about. It's something you don't think about. It's something that happens. Mm-hmm. Because in my case, I was never trained to do a job. Mm-hmm. I was always, like they opened the cage of the tigers and they put you in there.
Yes.
And then
go do it.
You go do it, and you have to learn. You just move a little bit over here and move a little bit over here. You try to jump a little bit, but you have to learn along the way. And it's probably not the best way, but when there's limited resources or crisis situations, or some of your friends know that you can be good for a job, they just say, hey, bring that guy because he's got the mindset, or he can change his mind in a flash, and he will be able to do this. But I don't recommend that. I do recommend you take the the courses, and you go through your probably my learning curve has been very, very short, mm-hmm. but it's been very, very painful, extremely painful in every job I had. I was talking, about, imagine this for a mindset, for a change of mindset in professions. The first 15 years of my life working in one thing, in which you were taught and trained along the way to keep your mind open, to learn, to watch, to see, to do, but keep your mouth shut. Always keep your mouth shut. Mm-hmm. Never say anything. Like those little monkeys that, the other way around. I was only the You can go like this, you can go like that, but you have to go like this.
I see.
Imagine
Yeah.
that for 15 years, for 15 years. But then you're put in a different situation where you have to change, for example, the law, the pensions law for the
Mm,
government workers, and you're gonna shake the world because the pension it's a very complicated thing, and it's something we never think about until they change it for you. And
yes.
either you and when you change the law of pensions, those changes are never in your favor.
Right.
They're never ever in your favor. It's either you have to work more or you have to pay more for your pension,
Right.
which is, if you want, we can someday have an argument about that. And it's obvious it has to be that way. But
Mhm.
imagine you have the 2 million workers, and then you change the pension system, and they tell you, okay, you were used to keep your mouth shut, now you're going to open it, and you're going to go and
Oh,
explain
goodness gracious.
to
Yes.
2 million people that their pensions systems have changed, and you have to convince them that it's good for them, even if it's probably, and you have to find the arguments.
Yeah.
That's the change of a professional mindset.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
And
true.
I'm just telling you the big change in 30 years. But from job to job, there's always little changes or big changes that you also have to do. But yes,
Absolutely. Yeah.
obviously you have to be open. You have to look for the people that can show you how to do things. I
Hmm.
mean, you always have to go together with the guys who already know how to do them. If you want to learn quick, if you don't want to get fired in the next 5 minutes, you have to go together with a guy who knows how to do it. Or you have to come to people like you who
Hmm.
are experts in the training. For what I read, the American Heritage College is you're experts in these things.
Hmm.
That's what you do. So yes, you do have to be open to change your mindset in order to change profession, or do whatever you do in your own profession better every day.
Yeah.
Either or both.
Yeah. Wow. That was excellent. That was great. You know, it's funny you say that because you talked a little bit about us at the college, and you know, the funny thing is, while there are areas that each of us on the team have expertise in, the great part is the way we look at knowledge brokering is we know our limitations. As knowledge brokers, you have to know what your limitations are, and you have to be willing to use others, experiences like yours you just stated. If you're
Yeah.
not sure of how to communicate that, you better learn from somebody. Because if you go out and speak to 2 million people without understanding how to do it, you might be putting yourself and the company, country,
The
whatever,
government.
into some major issues.
Yeah.
So it's very important. But I think it's very important to know that as a knowledge broker, that you don't always have to be you don't have to be the most knowledgeable one in all areas.
No.
And I'm going to say that because, I think when I first finished my doctoral studies, we'll even say my master's degree, people then all of a sudden look to you to say, well, you have the advanced degree, so you know it all now. You know everything.
No.
No, no. I can focus and help you with one area, maybe. But even within that area, there's people that are more knowledgeable than me. So let's get you to them. And that's what we want to do. So I'm glad you spoke to that, because I think that's another important part of life is understanding you don't have to know it all and it's not on your shoulders. That's part of a mindset as well. Understanding it's not always all on your shoulders. That's one perspective. And again, that's more of an opinion, right? So
No. If
um,
I can add a little bit to that,
yeah,
I don't
please.
know, maybe a master's degree or a doctoral degree. they teach you things, but
Yeah,
what they really do is that they open your mind
there it
to
is.
learn more
Yes.
about that.
Mhm.
Because first of all, it's not your obligation to know it all.
Mhm.
And second, you have to open your mind to try to know it all.
That's true. That's a good way to look at it. Yes. I love it. Thank you. Thank you.
And on a master's and on a doctoral degree, you have they give you the basis, they give you the foundations.
Correct.
Education, it's like you have pieces of a puzzle.
Hmm.
Life, life, education, your career, it's like the frame of the puzzle.
Right.
Everything you pick up, this is my own interpretation of education. And everything you pick up along the way, it's the pieces. It's the
Mhm.
pieces. And then in your mind, which is the frame of the puzzle, you try to put the pieces together.
Yeah.
If you don't have a good education, if you don't go to masters, to doctors, or grammar school, that frame is not it's not gonna fit the pieces the way you want them to fit, or
Wow.
the way somebody expects them to fit.
Yeah.
So your education better be good, because that will make the frame. If not, or let's say a pot, your education, your culture, it's like a pot. And
Hmm.
if it's not a good education, it will have cracks, and all the knowledge you pour inside of it, it's going to leak.
Yeah.
It's going to leak. It won't hold the liquid. It won't hold the knowledge. It's going
Yeah.
to leak. So that was a little bit in addition to what you said, which it's very, very, very interesting.
Very relatable, right? And it's all interesting how it can all become full circle of what we're talking about today. That's what I love about it. It's how you utilize it. It's how you
Exactly.
use it. Why do you think, and again, maybe we just answered this question together,
I'm
but
sorry.
no, 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 please, please, that's okay. There's no need to apologize. Why do you think the mindset is important for people to use in their everyday life?
Why do I think the mindset is very important for people? Well, I mean, if you are, let's put it together again, professional mindset.
Yes.
Let me, to answer this question, let me use the profession.
Okay.
Profession is what you do for a living.
Correct.
If you want to be better at what you do, if you want to be better in your profession, if you want to be better at what you do for a living, you have to use your mindset. You
Mm-hmm.
have to use your mindset. You have to set your mind to different situations that may occur every minute, every day, every month, every year. You have to adjust your mind in different ways in order to, uh, again, to do better what you do.
That's right.
Or in another, let me go deeper. Maybe it's not just doing better what you do,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe by doing better what you do, you found a better way. You
Mm.
found a better way to do it. And you can go to your superiors, or maybe you have the capacity to do it by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and you adopt a different mindset to do what you do in a different way. That it's going to, let's talk about private business, that's going to increase the earnings of the company, your own earnings. It's going to make a different process, which is a lot easier, and it's gonna be more profitable. Not explicitly for money, but it's gonna be a lot more profitable for your mind. You're gonna
Yeah.
be better in your mind. You talk about, the way the neuroplasticity. You're gonna make your brain grow.
Yes. Yes.
You're gonna make,
Absolutely.
so you better use your mindset for, and be ready to change it. It's especially, I mean, there's no way not to use it. You must be ready to change it. You must be
Mm-hmm.
ready to set it in a different tone, set it in a different pace, set it in a different speed, set it in a different size. That's what you have to do. You have to be always aware that different situations maybe require different mindsets. And if you're not prepared to do that with your mind, if you're not open enough to let your mind grow to, uh, to adjust itself to the different situation, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Wow. That's wonderful you say that, because it's funny. I was going to end us on a question of, um, and I think you just answered it. Maybe I might be totally
Sorry
off the
again.
mark. No, 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 no. I might be totally off the mark on this one. But if we were referring to the professional mindset, and you could go back to your 25-year-old self, what would you say to you? Is where I was going to go with.
Okay. Wow. To my 25-year-old, that was so long ago.
Oh, please. We know you're a young man. Come on.
Okay. When I was, maybe the problem is, I'm not dodging the question, but
Yeah.
maybe the problem is that at 25, you never think about these things.
No.
You just do. You
Yes.
just do. And maybe if I had the chance to be 25 again, I would go to people like you and say,
Hmm.
please help me, teach me how do I learn to change my mind for different situations?
Hmm.
Who's going to give me the tools? I want somebody to give me the tools to be able to change my mind, because in my next several years of life,
Yeah.
chances are I'm going to have to change my mindset
I see.
many times and in many ways. And if I don't have the tools, I'm going to have a rough time.
Right.
So, where is Terry? I'm 25 years old. I say, where's Terry? Where's the the people that can help me do that?
That's right.
But at
Right.
25, it's I mean, if you're asking a guy my age with my knowledge to
Yes.
go back to 25, I can answer that question. But you
Yeah.
said, imagine you're 25.
I did. You're right. See, I phrased the way I phrased the question. You're
Yeah,
correct.
if
But
I'm 25, I wouldn't think about this. I
yeah.
would be just doing what I have to do, and I would have loved to have someone to teach me how to change my mind
Yeah.
fast and for
Yes.
different situations.
Yes. I agree with you. And that again is something that the reason I brought that question up to you is because that's something we've been talking about a lot at the college lately. Because there are some things that we look at where we are in our lives now. We want to be able to help a person that is 25 to 35 years old and help them to, I don't want to use the word make the mistakes that we did, because that's not what it's about, but it's understanding maybe how to get to their better life sooner. Like you just said, that's
Exactly.
exactly what it's about. Unlocking the potential, unlocking the potential of self, even, right? So, yeah.
To make those learning curves a lot flatter
Yes,
and
right?
a lot less expensive
There we go.
and
Yes.
suffer a lot less.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Well, I'll tell you, with you, my friend, I think what I'd like to do is give you an opportunity. If there's anything you would like to share with the folks listening out there, please feel free to share. If not, what we'll do is we'll get ready and end today's show. Is there any words of wisdom that you would like to share with those that are watching from afar?
Ah, words of wisdom. Wisdom is the one thing I lack.
Oh, come on now.
But no, no, no. I would just say that mind will have to be accustomed to a lot of different settings from now on.
Mhm.
Climate change, democracy, all the things you look at in the papers
Mhm.
or in the news or whatever. You have to be ready. We have to be ready. It's not just I mean, maybe if you want to look at it this way, probably my generation failed. My generation failed. And if the young people, the 25-year-olds, don't have the mindset to first to absorb whatever is happening and to be able to analyze it and create the intelligence
Hmm.
to fix the world, to change the world by first changing their minds,
Hmm.
we're going to be in trouble. We're going to
Yeah.
be in bad trouble.
Hmm.
There will be no pensions. There will be no pensions. You will have to, climate change is it's a very, the future doesn't look good for my desk, for my position. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look, I mean, it's not hopeless, but only if the young people are willing to change,
Hmm.
we will have a future, or they will have a future.
There we go.
In
Yes.
some parts, population is decreasing. In some parts, populations are growing.
Hmm.
So that means we'll soon have a lot of people where the populations are growing, massively moving to the places where the populations are decreasing.
Hmm.
And we have uh, the levels of the sea, the sea level, sea level rise,
Hmm.
and we'll have a lot less places to be, and the people will move to the upper, to the mountains.
Hmm.
I mean, that's things. Those are things that we're not thinking about. At least I haven't seen it. I don't think I have seen people having this kinds of conversations and adjusting their minds for what the future has in store.
Yeah.
And it's frightening. It's frightening. So some things, like the things you do, are very important, because you have to put people in the way of learning, of never stopping to learn. There are no experts. There are no experts.
Yeah.
People are always learning. People are always learning. Nobel prizes, they are always learning. Some people have learned even two prizes. They didn't
Hmm.
say, okay, I know everything about this. I'm going to my beach house. No, no, no. First, there won't be any beach houses, probably. But then they never quit. They kept on learning and doing things. So that's what that's what a professional mindset is.
Hmm.
Keep always learning. Keep always learning. And if you're 25, you're, by the way, you look very young.
Well, thank you.
It's not my generation, and we screwed it up for you. Now it's your turn to fix it.
Very wise words. Thank you so much. Well, everyone that's out there, please, I hope that, not I hope, I know you'll enjoy this session. I know you will enjoy the continued series as we continue bringing team members on. Obviously, you can watch these series anytime, anywhere on that you have access to YouTube and or Facebook. And we look forward to your continued patronage. Yeah, there we go. I got the word right. Uh, well, Carlos, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciated your time.
Thank you, Terry.
All right. You have a
Please say
wonderful,
thanks to Abdi, and thanks to
yes.
everybody who listens or watches us.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.